to the first topic for the night. Now, the first topic I want to get into is they doing this social experiment in Oakland, California. It's going to involve around 100 people. And what they doing is they going to give around 100 people $1,000 to $2,000 a month for a year. And it's not the government doing it. It's a corporation in like Silicon Valley, and they trying to see, I guess, what will happen with that. I don't know. What do you think about this experiment? And you probably have a little bit more details on it, Ms. Baba. So I'm going to toss to you first. What do you think about this concept?
I mean, it really does depend because, just because they give us information doesn't mean that that's what their intentions are with it. So I'm a little skeptical because I'm trying to understand exactly what they're trying to get from this. One thing I will say though is that I'm curious to see exactly what type of information they're trying to gather. Number one, and then the results of it as well, because from my understanding of this test run is or the social experiment is that it's ultimately a setup for their end project that they're trying to implement. But the crazy thing to me is that it's kind of like they're doing this because they're trying to see what will motivate people. And I think they're looking at different things like what people will do with the money, whether they would use that money to do something productive. Because for the money, they did state on the website, I checked it out, they stated that you have a few options. You can either just take it and do nothing. You can work for it. You can volunteer. You can travel to different countries. So many different things. So I think they're just curious to see what motivates people and if money would play a part in doing so. So it's like I said, it's just hard to me. For me, I'm skeptical of the whole thing because I just feel like I'm not quite sure exactly what their true intentions are. And you're right, it isn't government funded. It's funded by, I think that they're called Y Contributor.
Yeah.
But that's the group that's funding it. So I'm just like I'm very, very skeptical about this because they chose Oakland because of the fact that it's close to it's close to where they are, so they'll be more hands-on. But then also they considered Oakland to be a very social and economically diverse area, and it really ranges from like considerably wealthy people to the most inequality or what have you. So yeah, I'm just overall, all in all, I'm just really, really skeptical about what their true intentions are, because I don't think they really made that clear at all.
Right, and I agree with you on that part. Like, I think it's an interesting experiment, but
right.
I want to, like you said, I want more details on it. And the research I've seen so far is very vague on why they're doing this. I don't know if they're just doing this to see, okay, if people in different classes will do different things with the money, because supposedly they selecting people at random, supposedly, if you believe that, across class base and race base. But that's what I want to know, like exactly what they plan to do with the research with it. Is it something for marketing? Because it is a corporation. Are they trying to market something for different people? Like, right. I don't know, and I would like a little bit more transparency with it. So that's my initial thoughts on it. What's your opinion, Mikhail?
Well, my initial thoughts was that the first thing that came to my mind was the conversations that we continue to have through our social network about economics and the role it plays in impoverished communities and our ability to build infrastructure in our community. It would not surprise me that if somebody got hold to those kind of conversations and they could A, want to prove its legitimacy, or B, want to use the test result as a template to explain to people that, oh, look, see, we gave these people money and you see what they did with it, you know? But my opinion on that is the proof is in the pudding. If you research the top 20 most criminalized areas in the world, they all share the same quality: poverty, high levels of drugs in the area, a lot of churches and religion around. They all have the same elements that build criminal environments. So I wonder if this test is testing that theory, and if it works and it shows that economics can improve a social condition, especially one that's in poverty. It can decrease crime. I'm wondering, will they run and hide with that research? Or if it shows that it does not increase, they come out with that so that they can counter those on social media who's making economics the reason why we see many of the things we see going on in these communities.
Right. Right.
Just quickly, I just wanted to add that Switzerland does something similar to this. They pay 2,500 francs to all of their citizens, and it keeps their economy afloat. That equals about 2,500 francs equals about $2,800 a month, American dollars, from American Value Rapid. And it keeps their economy afloat. And if you would do the research on their crime and things like that, you would see where that is. The point is, history will tell you that resources decrease crime. And we as a nation are becoming one of the most criminalized countries in the world. You know, we have probably maybe 1 or 2% of the actual population, but we lead in imprisonment. So I'm sure this study might have something to do with wanting to change that look, because we're over here with all this foreign invasion and everything, but we can't even get our own backyard together. So that's my take on it.
Right, and let me just respond to that also, and that's why I think this study may be dangerous, because if you're given, first and foremost, $1,000 to $2,000 a month, yeah, it may be, it may be something. It's like this, because of the scope of their demographics for this survey or this experiment. It's kind of not fair, because if you've given $1,000 to $2,000 to somebody that doesn't have anything, compared to giving that same amount of money to someone that has it all, obviously they're going to do different things with it. You know what I mean? Because they can look at that extra $1,000 to $2,000 as spare money. Meanwhile, the people that you're giving it to who are disenfranchised, they're looking at that money like, oh, that's how I'm going to survive. So you can't possibly use that in a way that would be fair to make any sort of judgments outside of that. So that's why I'm a little bit leery of this whole experiment altogether.
Yeah, I just always want more information about exactly why they're doing it. Like I said, I think it could be a very good experiment. I just want more information and see exactly why they're doing what they're doing, because not only do I not trust some government agencies, I also don't trust corporations at all.
Right.
So usually corporations don't do stuff just to do it. Usually it's some type of motive behind it, and I just want to see what's the motive.
Right.
That's it. That's basically it. But it made me think about a few different things. One of the things that made me think about was reparations. And we always have this debate sometimes of what would people do with reparations if they actually get it. Would black people just spend it up and stuff like that? So it made me think, like, if we actually did get a point where we could actually get reparations, and this was the form we got, something like this, a stipend per month for I don't know how long, but let's just say it was a year or two. What would you do with that stipend? Personally, I'd go to you first, Miss Baba. If you was able to get $1,000 to $2,000 a month, what would you do with it? How would you plan? Would it change your life dramatically? What do you think?
I mean, obviously, I think you already know, and most people already know what I would do with that money. I would definitely use it to increase my businesses and my ideas of trying to have my own. You know, I think entrepreneurship is a very scary journey to take, but if you have to rely on your bread and butter, a lot of people are not going to take that initiative to do so, because that money usually goes to your well-being, your everyday. That's your bread and butter. That's what helps you to survive. But if you were given that extra additional income, then that may, well, I don't even know, because it depends on your situation. But for me personally, I would use that money towards building my empire, building my businesses up, building Always for Black, and trying to become self-employed in the manner where I'm able to ultimately employ others as well.
Right. Same question to you, Mikhail.
I think my answer would pretty much mimic Ms. Baba's. I think most of us intelligent ones, you know, we know it's gonna be some degenerate people that's gonna do some nigga stuff with it, but I think most of us would try to find a way to invest it, build our businesses up, invest more into our visions and our dreams, and then we could possibly see black towns popping up, true black towns, not the ones that are, you know, predominantly black citizenship, but then all the banks, all the economic and political power is still in the hands of Europeans. But true black towns can pop back up. Right.
Or with white supremacy mentalities.
Exactly. True black towns can finally pop back up, and then we can start reaching toward sovereignty, our own militaries, our own economic base, our own banks, our own education systems, you know. So I'm sure that most of us intelligent, I'm sure it's going to be some fools that be running out there trying to find, you know, new rims and new cars every day. But enough of us would build businesses, you know. But I think that's across the board in any nation. You know, you give $2,000 a month to all white people. It's going to be some of them that's going to spend it all on Madden and, you know, Street Fighter games, you know, or iPads and iPhones, you know. So everybody got their vices. But, yeah, that's what I would pretty much do. Yeah.
Right, and I concur with both of y'all. I think it could change a lot of people's lives dramatically. If you're in debt, it can get a lot of people out of debt. Just that alone will be able to free certain people up, because student loans is killing people out there. So just a little bit of freedom to do a few things, and I think people already know. You know me, I definitely will invest more in the businesses I already have and create some new businesses. So that's definitely what I'll do. And I will also travel a little bit more. I mean, we got to think, you know, like it's not like you rich with getting the stipend, but it will give a lot of people a little bit more room to do a lot of things they want to do. Like I always wanted to go to Africa, but it's just very expensive and time consuming. And maybe I could actually find the time to actually go without, you know, worrying about how much it costs and all that. Stuff like that, just traveling, because I think traveling is a good experience for people if they can do it. Just seeing how other people live, just even in this own country, just going different parts of the country is good, you know, just seeing how other areas interact with the dynamics in their community. I think it's just good to do stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, and hopefully this is not one of those things where they report on it initially and they never go back and report it again and see exactly what the results is, or never follow up about what's going on. I think something we can do is this, because I'm curious to see why are they doing it. I think Always for Black, we should probably contact this company. They might not contact us back and actually ask, what's the purpose of this? You know, I think something that we can actually do ourselves and see if we can actually get an answer to it, because I'm really curious about what it is. And maybe this could be a Freedom of Information Act thing. They don't want to get back to us, because I definitely want to know what it is they're trying to do. So.
Right.
And I'm going to leave it at that. Anybody else got any closing comments on this?
No, I'm good.
Yep, I'm good.
All right. Now,